Respiration. Respiration is a physiochemical process. With the help of this process, higher organism receives their energy. The organ that take part in respiration is the respiratory system. Main respiratory organ of human is lungs. So today I will discuss main respiratory organ of human or lungs. Structure of lungs. There are different structures of lungs are there situated on the either side of the heart. This organ is in between two side of the chest cavity or thoracic cavity or the between the heart, situated on either side of the heart. Second characteristic is spongy and soft. Their structure is spongy and soft generally. And third characteristic is light reddish in color, and third one is right lung is three-lobed because of heart, and the left lung is two-lobed because of heart, because heart is angled towards the right side of the thoracic cavity. That is why left side of the thoracic cavity. That is why right side is a huge space. In this huge space, lungs is elongated and one lobe extra. And the left side is two-lobed because of the heart angle towards the left side. That is why there is no huge space for enlarge the lungs. That is why left side is two-lobed lungs. And 6 number, pleura is double layered covering membrane of lungs is pleura. Pleura is a membrane that covers the lungs and reduce the friction between rib cage and the lungs. And pleural fluid is in the pleural cavity. In between the lungs membrane and the pleura, it's a cavity-like structure form. This cavity contains huge amount of fluid substance. For these fluids, it reduces the friction during inhalation and exhalation process. Alveoli, bronchioles, and blood vessels, blood capillaries, and veins, arteries, etc. are there in the lungs. Lungs contain alveoli, numerous ball-like structure, balloon-like structure, bronchioles, branch of bronchus, blood vessels, etc. inside the lungs. And the last one is single epithelial layer cover alveoli of lungs covered or alveolus cover a single epithelial tissue. With the help of these epithelial tissue or thin epithelial tissue, gaseous exchange in between blood vessels and the alveolus occur. So with the help of this single epithelial layer, gaseous exchange occur, exchange of oxygen and exchange of carbon dioxide during gaseous exchange occur in between alveoli and blood vessels. These are the structures of lungs. Now I am trying to draw main respiratory organ of human and its different parts, and the part that located in between the two sides of our heart. With the help of these two sides, the right side of the lung is three-lobed and left side is two-lobed. Just I am trying to draw the outer covering membrane, outer covering layer of the lungs, not the lobe. In left side there is only two-lobed, but in the right side it's three-lobed, or the right side lung is comparatively larger than the left side because heart is bent towards the left side. That is why left side there is no extra space. The lower part of the lung or the respiratory system is diaphragm, and the outer covering, this outer covering is the rib cage. Rib cage contain, there is rib and a muscle. Rib and muscle are contained in this rib. Rib contain, there are different ribs are connected with each other, and the muscle in between the ribs, there is a muscle, there is different type of muscle, elongation or circular or muscular tissue are there. This muscle is known as intercostal muscle. And the covering membrane of lung is pleura. Pleura form a cavity-like structure. This black dotted part is the part of muscle, is the muscular part, or this is generally known as intercostal muscle. And the red dotted part is known as the rib part of the lung. Rib and intercostal muscle form the chest cavity or thoracic cavity. And the lower portion of the lung is the diaphragm. Diaphragm separated chest cavity and thoracic cavity. The ring-like these muscles is known as ring muscles, and it originated from the larynx to the larynx, trachea, and the branches, bronchioles and bronchus also covered with these muscles or circular muscles. The branch of bronchus is bronchioles, and the tube-like structure or balloon-like structure inside the lungs. This balloon-like structure inside the lungs is alveolus, and the plural form of alveolus is alveoli. Alveolus and alveoli covered with thin blood vessels, thin capillaries. With the help of thin capillaries, thin layer of capillaries and thin layer of alveolus, helps in exchange of gases with the help of diffusion process. This layer helps in diffusion. This is the inner part of the lungs. And the center of these two lungs, heart, is located. The middle part of this is the heart. It divided two part of lungs, left and right part of the lungs. Heart bend towards the left side. That is why the left part of the lungs is comparatively smaller than the right part. First part is triangular part is the larynx, the junction between digestive system and respiratory system. Second one is trachea, and third one is rib, and the fourth one is right and left bronchus. Bronchus is divided into bronchioles. This is the bronchioles, branch of bronchus, and alveolus connected with the bronchus, or alveolar tube also connected with the bronchus. This is represented alveolus or alveoli. And the covering membrane of lung is pleura. Pleura contain pleural cavity, and the lower part is the diaphragm. Is separated abdominal cavity and thoracic cavity. I am trying to write the name. The larynx is the first part of the lungs. Larynx is the junction. It contain lead-like structure. It separated digestive system and respiratory system. Trachea is generally known as windpipe, and rib cage connected with the muscle is known as intercostal muscle, and rib form the thoracic cavity or chest cavity. Trachea divided into two parts, right and left bronchus, and bronchus divided into many branches is known as bronchioles. Bronchioles, bronchus and trachea transport oxygen from nostril to the chest cavity. Bronchus connected with the alveolar tube or alveolus or alveoli and helps in exchange of gases. Pleura is the outer covering membrane of lungs. Pleura helps in exchange of gases, directly take part in diffusion process with the help of in between pleura, alveola and the blood capillaries. Diaphragm is the lower part of the lungs. Diaphragm separated two cavity, abdominal cavity and thoracic cavity. First part is larynx. Larynx is the junction, and the tube-like part is trachea, is generally known as windpipe. Trachea divided into two parts, right and left bronchus. Bronchus divided into many branches is known as bronchioles. Bronchioles and bronchus are interrelated with each other. Branch of bronchus is bronchioles. All the parts are situated in between the thoracic cavity. The rib and intercostal muscle are interrelated or form this cavity, thoracic cavity. And inner part is heart, and branch of bronchus is bronchioles connected with the alveoli with the help of alveolar tube. And the covering membrane of the lungs is the pleural form, pleural cavity, pleural fluid, and it protects friction. Lower part is the diaphragm. Diaphragm is the last part of respiratory system. When it's downward, inhalation process occur. When it is upward, exhalation process occur. During inhalation, the volume of the thoracic cavity increases. During exhalation, volume of the thoracic cavity decreases. In this way, respiration occurs.